Oh shoot, I lost my page.
When did you get this tat?
Monday.
Let's go. I love it. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
I got
All
like
right.
10 more planned.
I love it. So I'll check out the I'll check out the tat here in a little bit, but or tats it sounds like. So all right, we're gonna have a nice little Q&A. We're gonna have a nice little Q&A here, dude.
What
All
is
right,
going
we
on with
got
my computer?
X-Men. X-Men has questions. I'm gonna do my best to have answers, and this is all regarding. This is all specifically from like Alex Hormozy video on entrepreneurship, or what? Was it from different
Um,
sources too?
Kinda. It actually, I just kind of developed my own questions that I had outside
Love
of
it.
the video because I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but if you're ever in a position where you're starting something completely new or like you just have no experience whatsoever and you try to listen to people who like know seemingly everything about it, it feels like you're just miles behind and don't even understand the language that they're speaking. So I told that to you and trying to just like hype myself up and be like, no, I got this. And then you were just like, write down some questions. But you said write down questions about it. I just wrote down questions that I had in general.
Great.
Some of them do
It doesn't.
pertain to what they were talking about, though.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Let's do it.
Um, the first question is, do I need to pay for promotions? Because I've seen it like they do paid ads and stuff like that. No.
No, definitely not. And I'll tell you, I'll actually tell you this right now, and I will tell you what I'm about to do, especially with like Dynamic Daddy, this stuff, and the Better Dad Bulletin, like stuff that I'm just kind of launching, right?
Mhm.
This is exactly the play. And I'll even send you the link for what is like, oh, this is where I learned this. What a brilliant idea. I'll send you the link of the video and everything, and you will see this. I will literally send it to you when I send this out, so you go, "Oh, okay, I see what he's doing." You don't need to do paid ads at all, especially this early on. To you, like I'm trying to build something, I'm not generating income or anything like that. You start
Mhm.
completely organic.
Okay.
Now, if you want to learn how to do this directly from Alex Hormozy, he has videos and stuff on YouTube, but I would recommend you go to acquisition.com. And on acquisition.com, he has all these like free videos and free trainings. And on the $100 million offers
Mhm.
under that training, you'll see something in there about like leads or outreach or something like that. And the whole point is he's like, you should just do 100 direct outreaches every single day.
Mhm.
And that alone, not paid ads, like reaching out directly. You have people, you have friends on Instagram, you have whatever that you can send stuff directly to. So what I'm going to do, which this is separate from him, this didn't come from him, this came from Gary Vee. He's like, literally take out your phone and just go, which I will be doing. Hey guys, it's Xavier. I wanted to let you guys know I'm sending this to everybody in my contacts list because I just kind of got on board with like launching my thing, whatever that thing is. And I just wanted to share, and I promised myself I would send it to everybody in my contacts list. So if you're receiving this, maybe we've known each other for years from high school. Maybe we only met one time, but I wanted to share this with you. And if you want to pass it along, great. If you want to not hear from me again, that's great. This is the only time I'm going to send you something like this. But here's what I have going on. My Divine Dialogues podcast is blah, 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 whatever you're doing. And that's that. So thanks so much for tuning in or for listening to this so far. And I appreciate your attention to this, whatever it may be. Have a wonderful day. Much love to you. Blah, blah, blah. And you send that to every single person in your contact list. This is what I'm
Mhm.
about to do with the Better Dad Bulletin. If you're a person that is interested in improving yourself, your relationship with your kids, or your relationship romantically, that's what my newsletter covers. If that interests you at all, here's what's going on. So I'm going to record a video like this. I'm going to go through my contacts list. I'm going to text it to
Mhm.
every single person in my contacts list. And then I will do the same thing with the video, whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever, to send that invite to people and let them know, hey, this is what I have going on. Because for one, the algorithm, if you don't get your ad correct to match to your target audience in a way that the algorithm sees fit, it's not going to be shown to the right people.
Yeah.
if you reach out directly to the people that you know and you have contact to and just let them know, like, don't bullshit people. Just be like, hey, this video is going out to everybody. I'm
Yeah.
sending it to you directly, right? Like, don't
Yeah.
try to make it seem like, oh, I'm only sending this to you. That's cheesy and it's deceitful. That's not good.
Yeah.
So just let them know, hey, this is what I'm doing and this is what's going on. And you're gonna reach so many more people that way, and it costs you nothing to do. So no, you
Yeah.
don't need to do paid ads. And I have tested paid ads like 2 or 3 times, and frankly, my organic stuff has done way better. And
Mm.
when you do organic creation of content of whatever it is, and you just post something up there and you see like, oh, this is performed way better, then you have a better idea of what works, what people are interested in, and so on. So
Yeah.
you don't need short answer, no, you don't need to do paid ads.
And I'll say too, your audio is like it's a little bit buzzy.
Ooh,
It's
thank you for
almost
telling
like
me.
yeah,
Ooh, how's that?
it didn't
Are
change
we better?
anything. Uh-uh.
Damn, that's not good.
It sounds like it's almost like a fan. Do you have an audio mixer?
Yeah, but it's just a digital mixer. So let's see.
It could be because you're also pretty quiet. So I don't know if like your
All right,
gain is super high, but your volume's low.
pulling it up right now. Da, 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 da.
You just got quieter, but the noise stayed the same.
How about now?
You're louder, but the noise is still the same.
What the shit, man?
I like that audio level though.
Do you?
Yeah, that level of loudness.
Okay, this is great. But you're still hearing some sort of feedback?
Yeah, it's almost like oh, it's gone.
Is it?
Well, it's like super quiet now. It's not as distracting as it was.
That's great. Let me see here.
Did you go with a burst fade? Is that what I'm seeing?
Go with a what?
A burst fade on the cut?
Yeah. Okay. Do you still hear that little fuzzy?
Yeah, but it's so quiet.
Yeah, I kind of hear it too, which is, you know what's interesting? Even when I mute the mic, it's still kind of there. So
Oh,
basically, yeah, it's not the mic. So what I'll do is just do like a little background noise removal and then have to figure this out afterwards. But okay,
okay.
back to it. So, do
Uh,
you have to? Yeah, do you have to run paid ads? Should you run paid ads? My answer to that is no, you don't have to, especially this early on. Once you've reached out to your whole community of people and you've been putting stuff out there and putting it in front of people and everything like that, once you've touched every person in your network, then maybe we can consider paid ads.
okay.
But
Yeah,
there's
because
also other ways. There's also other ways that you can go about spreading the word, and also on acquisition.com or his books, right? $100 million offers or $100 million leads. They're right up here. So $100 million offers, incredible book. This is like where you need to start at ground zero as an entrepreneur. This is a damn good book. But if you're again video at just acquisition.com and you can go see the trainings and stuff, and then $100 million leads. So these are also on, he posted these on his on Alex Hormozzi's podcast to where you can listen to the
hmm,
audio version
hmm,
of these books for free.
hmm,
And they are an incredible thing to reference. I recently was just referencing $100 million leads. I went back and listened to a specific chapter on affiliates and on like affiliate partnerships and stuff because for my newsletter, I built out, and I'm still kind of adding to it, but I built out a referral program so that the more people you refer to my newsletter, the Better Dad Bulletin, the more rewards you get.
Mm,
And the whole idea is get other people to market your thing for you, but don't do it
mhm,
don't try to do it in a way that's just like sleazy. Actually give them value. Like
mhm,
make those people your best customers and serve them the best that you possibly can. And then for me, the way one way I did that is built a community. So if you refer, let's say you refer 5 people to the Better Dad Bulletin, you get my phone number immediately,
mm,
and you can then hit me up if you're having a rough day or you're having a challenging time. You can send me a message, and I'll send you a voice note immediately.
mhm.
Like, oh man, my kid did this. I don't really know what to do. And I'll just send you my perspective on it and other things and maybe some helpful resources and stuff. So that's like community building for me.
Mhm.
It costs nothing to them and they just support the newsletter, the community. We help build the community together. And then eventually you just have this army of people that really support you and help each other out. So you just
Yeah.
want to add value in that way. So you don't have to pay for ads or anything like that. Word of mouth is still the strongest thing, as
Yeah,
best
because
I
I
can
think
tell.
what he was saying is that he runs like $70,000 worth of paid ads a month, but
Yeah.
before he was doing paid ads, he was paying people like a couple $1 million a month to do ads for him. So he
Yeah.
was basically just cutting his expense. So that's why I was
Mhm.
questioning it for myself. Is like, is it even worth it?
No.
Um,
To to add to that, one quick thing to add to that for yourself, but also for any entrepreneur, a good reminder that I try to have is how can I do this as easily, as simply as possible and enjoy it?
mhm,
But you can add to that, and specifically in the ad or the spending money space with entrepreneurship.
mhm,
How can I do this as easily, as simply, and as enjoyably as possible for the least amount of money?
mm,
So, using whatever I have, whatever resources I have, how can I do the most with what I
yeah,
have without having to buy this new software or having to pay for this new thing or whatever it is? There's a lot of stuff. It's infinite, the tools that are created that you could use and all that stuff. What would it look like if I didn't spend any money and I still try to achieve the goal?
yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Um, what can I do outside of consistency to grow my audience?
What can you do outside of consistency?
Hmm.
Quality.
Okay.
So as you create stuff, let's say you're rocking consistently. That's great. How if you've maxed out your consistency pool, how can you improve the quality of the things that you're doing?
Hmm.
So, you know, your era, your generation, everybody wants to be a YouTuber, right? So everybody's listening and looking at Mr. Beast. He's the biggest, the best that's ever done it, and da 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 da.
Yeah.
If you look at any video of Mr. Beast that's giving advice on how to be successful in YouTube creation, he's like, go make 100 videos before I even talk to you and
Hmm.
just improve one thing from one video to the next. Every video you
Mm,
make, it doesn't have to be the same thing you improve. Just pick something and make it better for the next video. That's
yeah.
it. If that's coming from the best to ever do it, and it's that simple that you can
Hmm.
do it for free, it doesn't cost anything, then you should probably listen.
Yeah. What do you think
So,
are the most necessary, specifically for a podcast? What do you think are the most necessary? I don't want to necessarily say upgrades, but most necessary jumps in
yeah,
terms of
good
quality.
good question. Do you consume podcasts? Do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah.
Think of your 2 or 3 favorite podcasts you've ever listened to. What do they do that you go, "Oh man, that's really cool. I like that."
Uh, the one I always am caught by is multiple camera shots, just
Okay.
because I love like the feeling like when one's looking at you, it almost feels like they're talking to you, in the
Yeah.
same with the other way. And then I also like
Yep.
just some of the random shots that they throw in, like moving shots or whatever. And I think the
Yeah.
second one is always audio quality. Like
Okay.
it always is just like perfect.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what else could you do? Like when you think of your favorite podcast, what does it let you go, "Man, this is just such quality." What
They
else?
always ask really good questions if it's interview style. I
Okay.
think that, and I think what happens is like they ask really good questions, so the guest talks for a really long time. And so
Yeah.
I think that there's like a little dance going on with that I want to get better at.
Nice. That's great. So you have a list of things that you could improve every time, right?
Hmm.
Now, what I want to say to this point is as you are aiming to improve every time, that doesn't necessarily mean that the market is going to respond as if something improved. That doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean your listeners are going to be like, oh, I love this thing. Some of this is a creative direction that you go, I'm going to make a decision here. I'm going to do the thing. And you have to decide the feedback from your audience or the feeling that you get in doing it, which is more
Mm,
important. Some things, like for me, I'll tell you, my first phase of my podcast, which was, whatever, 20 episodes, 21 episodes, I had in my head this whole like structure that I had to do
hmm.
it in. And now my second phase of podcast, where, episodes 22 through where I'm at like 36 or whatever now, I'm like, I have no structure that I have to follow. If I want to do something, I'm going to do it, and it doesn't matter how it goes. I don't have to be so structured in this or that or whatever. And I'm enjoying it so much more. So
Yeah.
much more. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the audience enjoys it more.
Sure.
And then you have to make a decision. Do I want to do what they want me to do, or do I want to do what I enjoy doing more? And there's
Hmm.
kind of a dance you have to play here, right? So
Yeah.
just understand that as you're improving stuff, you also might, like, if you're like, oh, I'm going to improve my audio, maybe you do something like my mic on this recording here. We had some sort of fuck up that's going on with the audio or whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, this far into it, I should have this figured out.
Sure.
But I've also tested different setups and all that stuff that is like, well, I don't have it figured out yet because I do try different stuff. So just
Mhm.
understand you might go 2 steps forward, 1 step back with that.
Yeah.
But these are just ideas of things that you can play with. What can I do to be better? Like, can I play with the lighting a little bit? Can I play with the camera angle? Maybe I've always shot direct, to me like this. Maybe I do one where instead I'm talking here and the camera's here for the whole episode. Is that going to change the feel? How does it change it?
Mm,
Does it make it nice? Whatever, right? So you can play with stuff all the time. You just want to try to make something better every time.
yeah.
So when you've maxed out your consistency, then focus on your quality.
Yeah. And sorry. We kind of talked about this a little bit before recording with the new, well, I don't want to say too much, but a potential like pretty cool guest for me. But
Yeah,
on the heels of that, how do I attract more people with a lot of value to provide to hop on the podcast?
good question. If I ask you a question right now and I said, Xavier,
Mhm.
who is somebody that you think I should sit down and talk to because they are just mind-blowingly fascinating that I would just love to pick their brain? Who do you think? Like, give me somebody.
I mean, like Alex Ramosi.
Okay, but somebody you know.
Oh, somebody I know. Um, Probably my pastor. I like to think he's a pretty interesting dude.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Why?
he just.
Why? Well,
I mean, one, he's a golfer, so you guys already
nice.
have some level of commonality in that. But
Okay.
he's on a similar journey of trying to be as best a communicator as possible, and he's given me some interesting insights that I don't know is aligned with what you say a lot. Like I hear him saying a lot of things that you've said to me, and I'm like, dang, maybe my uncle's right. And there's
Nice.
it's
Nice.
it's weird. I'll say this. It's weird having people in your family that are like really good at something and are actually like being successful. I don't know why. Like it just clicked not that long ago that like my parents are actually pretty successful.
Yeah.
It is like I don't know why it took me so long to be like normal. Maybe because we were like poor when I grew up, but I don't know. It's just it's weird. It's a weird
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
So just
That's all
hearing
good.
those,
You're a
yeah.
kid. You're a kid figuring life out. It's all right.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so what we just did right now was how to get new, better guests.
Mm,
When you're talking to your guest and you're like, oh man, who should I talk to next? When you talk to a guest and you enjoyed the chat with them, they probably have other people that you would enjoy talking to in their circle.
yeah.
So you could just ask people that you interview, say, hey, who is somebody that you think, and do it on your recording session, right? On the record,
Mm,
like, hey, who is someone you think I should sit down with and talk to that would just be fascinating or that I would love to talk to? Who's somebody you know that I should talk to? And let them make the referral. Let them like, cool. Would you connect us like that? I would love. They sound fascinating.
mm,
Your pastor, he golfs and he's interested in improving communication. Those are two things I love. I would
mhm.
love to chat with this guy. Would you connect us? And then they'll either say yes or no.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Most
makes sense.
most people, most people say, yeah, I would love to. That's awesome because I had a wonderful experience with you personally, and I think they would also have a wonderful experience with you. So wait until you, I would do it towards the end of the podcast or after you record it if you don't want to do it on the record, and then ask them because by then you should have made a wonderful experience for your guest.
Okay. Yeah, that helps a lot because I was just like, there's so many people that like I want to have conversations with, but there's also so
Yeah.
many people that I just don't know that are like crazy
Yeah.
wise in different categories and subjects.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that real quick, another way you can go about it,
mhm,
if you know what categories or subjects you're really wanting to dive into, then ask that specifically. So, Xavier, who do you know that golfs and is also pretty good at communication or just trying to get good at communication?
mhm,
That that'll help people narrow it down and
mm,
go into the topics that you want, right? So if you have something
yeah,
like that, ask it in that way.
yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, I'm just writing all this down.
Yeah. Well, this is recorded, so you can visit it later too. Write
Okay,
it down
that's
though,
gonna be
because that
helpful.
helps it solidify. It helps it
Yeah, that's
solidify.
gonna be
But yeah,
helpful.
I'll right.
Um, am I actually putting out good content from a value perspective? And that was kind of I think your insight is helpful because not only do we not share beliefs in most the most common sense of like just faith, but like if you don't necessarily believe the same way I'm believing, but you still think that I'm putting out good content, I think that more
Mhm.
solidifies that the people who agree with me are also going to think I'm putting out relatively good content. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where my mindset goes.
Okay. That's a great question, and I like the introspection you're experiencing with this. So to answer it, do I think you're putting out valuable content? Yes.
Mm,
Do I think that you're putting out valuable content for everyone? No.
mhm.
Do I think that you're putting out valuable content for me specifically? Some things, not overall.
Yeah,
But the most important part of this is like you you have somebody in mind that you're aiming to serve.
yeah,
I'm not that person. I'm not
yeah,
that audience, right? So even though I get where you're coming from, like if it's valuable to me, it should be valuable to them too.
mhm,
Maybe, but I think if you want to really serve people, the more you can dive into them specifically to figure out how can I add more value to them because adding value is great, but adding more value is better.
yeah,
So figure out how you can add more value to the people who are your audience and you could do that by asking them, by polling them. I'm a big fan of that. I just did that on my Instagram a couple days ago to figure out like how can I create some I want to know how I best can serve people based on what their needs are, right?
yeah,
So you can ask, just outright ask, but overall the aim should be to keep improving the value that you add to your audience.
mhm,
And I'm a big fan of doing that, serve yourself first. Like figure your own shit out first
mhm,
and that will help other people. Cuz if you can't figure it out for yourself, if you can't lead yourself, good luck trying to lead other people.
yeah,
And it doesn't mean lead as like you're the perfect example. You can lead in in the way of being a guide. Like that's how I view like Dynamic Daddy, the Better Dad Bulletin. It's like I'm not the pinnacle person. I'm
sure,
just trying to help gather people and guide us into a better self and better
yeah,
community overall. So when you're like divine dialogues, am I adding value? The content that I'm creating, is it valuable? I would say yes, it's valuable. For one, you're having conversations around things that are important to people. You're having
mhm,
conversations with different people around different perspectives. You're also sharing your experience. You're also opening things up and passing love. Like when you pray for people on camera, I'm certain some people see that and feel it and it hits them in some type of way that makes their life better, right?
Mhm.
I would say you just keep trying to figure out how can I add even more value. Now,
Yeah.
with that, sometimes adding value can mean stripping things away,
Mm.
right? Like if I'm like, oh man, I have this really valuable film at the movie theater. Come in, I have 100 commercials to show you before the film starts. It's like, well, maybe adding value is taking some of those away because then you've
Yeah.
added to the experience. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
adding value can mean subtracting things too.
Okay. Well, that was I wrote these like questions in number form. So that was
Yeah.
question number four. Now question number four and a half, actually, you just said, but I'm gonna say it anyway because maybe there is some practicals right away. But how can I be a better value provider?
It's a good question. I think of this kind of twofold. One is as a consumer, this is why I asked you the question about the podcast. Pay attention, pay more attention to the things that move you. When you make a purchase, right? You put that lamp behind you, the hat you're wearing, the shirt you're wearing, the cross behind you, the wood for the cross, the materials for that, the sign behind you. When you make a purchase, be conscious of like, man, what was it that made me buy this thing from this
Yeah.
provider, right? Same is true with your content. When you're consuming a podcast, why am I still here 10 minutes in, 30 minutes in, 70 minutes in? What is it about this podcast that has kept me around? Start paying attention and analyzing this stuff, why it works for you and what value you're getting out of it, and then figure out how you can shape that and give it to your audience.
Okay. So it's not necessarily, I mean, I'm sure it can be, but it's not necessarily like a do this one thing and you're automatically adding more value. It's more so just like figure
Oh,
it
I see.
out.
Well, no, I can give you some of that too. So
Oh.
one of the cool things in Hormozi's $100 million offers is the value equation. I'm going to try
Hmm.
to flip to it in the book here, but essentially, what the value equation is, page 55. What the value equation is like no matter what you're doing, I'm putting it on the screen right now from the book. Let me see if I can. Tell me if you could see it because I'm blocking myself.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so what the value equation is essentially the stuff on top versus the stuff on bottom. If you get these right, or not right, but if you improve them, then you're increasing the value
Mm.
that you give to people. And this is across anything that you're doing, whether it's business or it's something free, it doesn't matter. So the way it works is like this. There's a dream outcome that people have times the perceived likelihood of achieving that dream outcome. So
Okay.
if the dream outcome is I'm gonna turn on this podcast called Divine Dialogues, and my dream outcome is that my life is going to be changed forever. I'm going to have a better life, a better relationship with my God, whoever that may be, whether that is the Christian God or a different God. I could
Hmm.
maybe still get value from this, even though I'm not a Christian, whatever it may be. If that's my dream outcome from listening to Divine Dialogues, and I multiply that by the perceived likelihood of achievement of that dream,
Hmm.
what that means is like, what are the odds that if I put on a random episode of Divine Dialogues that it's going to improve my life?
Hmm.
Like, what are the odds that that happens? Like, how likely is that to really happen?
Hmm.
You want to, like, any chance, any way you can, you want to increase those, right? So whatever the dream outcome is, if you can make a bigger dream outcome for the person happen, great. And the perceived likelihood of achieving that dream outcome, if you can ramp that up, that's good. So the top part of the equation, I'll hold it up again. The top part of the equation you want to go up. You want more of, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
I
bottom
I
part of it,
think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
you can go ahead. I'll pick back up.
I was gonna say I literally feel like I just played that out in my mind. Like yesterday when I was reaching out to a guest that I wanted to have, I was like, what are the chances if they like look at my Instagram, they click on a
Yep.
video and they're gonna see something good and actually want to be
Yep.
on. So
Bingo.
that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it, right? So you want to increase the perceived likelihood of achieving whatever the dream outcome is.
Hmm.
Now, the bottom part of this equation, you want to decrease. You want to make
Mm.
lower. You want to make less than. So that's time delay. And what time
Hmm.
delay is basically how long does it take to achieve the thing, whatever it is. And then that multiplied effort and sacrifice.
Mm,
Now, what does this look like in the world of a podcast, of yours specifically? Time delay. How long does it take for me to get value from this podcast? So if you look at like the episodes of my podcast, of you've done this with your podcast, where you have the intro is kind of some gold nuggets from that whole episode.
mm,
Somebody could listen to 30-second intro and be like, oh damn, that was a good ass quote, I got that, and I could leave and never listen to the rest of the episode. And if they can leave, that's a really fast, the time delay on that is really low because they didn't have to listen for 45 minutes to get to the gold, right? They got it right
mhm,
there. So time delay on that is low. That's really good. You want
mhm,
a shorter, a lower. The bottom half of this equation, you want lower. The effort and sacrifice. How much effort do I have to give in order to achieve my goal of
mm,
whatever the thing is, my dream outcome? How much effort do I have to give? If I want six-pack abs, man, maybe I can go get cosmetic surgery and just have them overnight. Or more effort is going to be the 6 months, the 12 months that I have to put into the gym consistently and blah, 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 blah. Right. It's a lot more
yeah,
effort.
yeah,
And then the sacrifice, what do I have to give up? Well, if I'm going to spend 12 months doing workouts, I better eat better too. Because if I'm eating junk food and all this stuff, I'm putting shit into my body, it's not helping. So that's sacrifice. I have to sacrifice the foods I really enjoy, the deliciousness, whatever. For your podcast, the effort, how much effort? Well, you really just have to press play.
mhm,
And even easier if you don't make people jump through hoops to click here, then go click there, then go click here. So when you
yeah,
put the link directly to the episode, boom, that's easy, right? One click and we're
mhm,
in there. The effort and sacrifice, you just have to listen, really. You don't have to do anything. And then what you sacrifice, they're sacrificing time doing anything else,
yeah.
right? So there's a hold on one sec. Jeanette's she's calling me from inside the
I was
house.
gonna say I hear a buzzing.
Oh, hi, big guy. What are you gonna show me? Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't know I didn't answer. I'm talking to X-Man. What? You got some little cats? Oh man, those look so silly. Hi, baby. Hi, you. Hi, mommy. Good morning. I'm wrapping up here in probably like, I don't know, 20 minutes with X-Man, and then I'll be in. Hey, hi, Mowgli. I'm getting the full tour right now, the whole house right now. Buddy, I'm gonna hi, Mowgli. I'm gonna be inside in a little bit. Thank you so much for the call. Is everything good this morning? Good. I'll be inside in a little bit, okay? Yes. You want to talk to me? You want to talk to me still? Hey, do you want to just come out here to the shed? You can hang out with me. Hey, just come out here, buddy. Come knock on the door. I'll let you in. All right? He just hung up on me. Yeah, he'll be out here in a moment. So, okay. So, the effort and sacrifice to listen to your episode. It doesn't take much effort, but they do sacrifice time,
Mhm.
right?
So
So
that's on
now we
both
have
the consumer and the provider?
the effort and sacrifice, you mean?
Yeah,
No, no, no. This is just the consumer. So
okay.
yeah, so for them to consume your podcast, it's going to take, I mean, it's kind of minimal effort. You just press play and listen. So
Mhm,
not much effort, but they do sacrifice the time because
sure.
whatever amount of time that is, they could be doing anything else.
Yeah,
But instead, right, they're listening to your episode. So value, dream outcome, and perceived likelihood of achievement. So how do you increase the odds that people will achieve whatever dream it is that you're pitching with your podcast or whatever?
mhm.
And then one sec, let me let him in. Yeah, buddy. Come in. All right, be careful. Not you, dog. No, no. Come in and be very careful, okay? This way. Step right over here. Yep, over here. Don't touch that stuff. Take your boots off, and you can come right over here, buddy. We got a visitor. We got a special guest.
Let's go. Come here, dude. You want to sit up here?
Oh, you're sneaking up. Okay. So, yeah. So you want to increase the likelihood of achieving whatever their dream outcome is. So for you, hey, you listen to this, and I'm going to help you explore your spirituality in a more clear way, whatever that looks like for you, whoever your
Hmm.
God is or God may be, whatever. So the perceived likelihood of achievement with that, you want to increase that. Like people think of your podcast, and it's like, do they say, yeah, dude, you listen to this, and for sure he's going to help straighten you out?
Hmm.
Or is it like, you listen and yeah, he's kind of hit or miss or whatever. So the more you can increase the likelihood of people achieving whatever your dream outcome is by listening to you, the better, the more valuable. I do remember you helped me put those up, buddy. That's right, and they're still up there. Nice work, dude. So then the time delay. So how long does it take to get the thing? So an example of this. 2 days ago, I polled my Instagram community. Hey, what is something, if you could pull it from my brain and keep it for yourself immediately, what is it? So I had this list of things that people shared of like, hey, I would want to know this, I would want to know that. It's 2 days now since I polled. I could, in theory, create a video for each one of these and then send it to that individual today, and that's a 3-day time delay.
Hmm.
How long have they had these challenges, these curiosities, these questions that they would love answered? I don't know how long they've had it, but if I delivered in 3 days, that's more valuable than if I delivered in 3 weeks.
Sure.
Look at you in the beanbag chair. So that's your time delay, right? The faster you can respond or create or do whatever it is, the more valuable it is. And
Yeah.
then the effort and sacrifice. How can I make this as minimally sacrificial and effort filled as possible? You
Yeah.
could, like, one thing I was doing when I ran the modeling school was I would start each video with, hey, if you can understand this clearly, listen to this video at 1.5 or 2x speed to save yourself time.
Yeah.
I would start my videos like that, and I know, like, for me when I'm listening or consuming stuff, I play it fast because I'm like, just get me through it. I can keep up at a higher
Hmm.
speed, and it saves me time. So that's how you could, in theory, save time. That sacrifice of time, you could be like, hey, listen to this faster if you need to. There's going to be pauses here, or there's thought out things, or maybe we speak slower. So ramp up the speed to whatever speed you can keep up and still tune in, and that'll save you some time. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, this guy just saved me 10, 20, 30, whatever length of minutes by
Yeah.
having me do that. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. I you ever like hear somebody say something and you're like, I can't believe I never thought of that.
Yes.
That's how I feel with like everything.
Yeah, dude, I live for those like epiphany moments,
Yeah.
I
I feel like
love
I've
I
had that with
love
every
those.
question.
Yeah.
Um, how can I become a better waiter when it comes to expanding my reach? So basically just how can I be more patient? Because
Like yeah,
in the
go.
terms of like like we talked about goals earlier. I have a
Yeah.
goal to get 52 episodes out, and then I have a goal to make a livable income by doing this. So how can I be more patient in that?
How can
Because
you
it's
be
not
more
happening
patient in
to
your goal?
yeah, because it's not happening tomorrow, unfortunately.
Well, it could. What's
It could.
stopping it from happening?
I just need TikTok to do its thing.
Oh, you mean the monetization. I was thinking 52 episodes.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah, it could. 52 could pop out
you
tomorrow, I
could.
guess. Yeah, in theory.
Yeah, you truthfully could, right?
Yeah.
So how the question is, I just want to clarify here. That's a mouse pad, buddy. So that's what I put the little mouse to control on there. So the question is, how do you be more patient with the goals you're pursuing?
Yes.
My answer to that, after a lot of all over the place set goals, notebook journals full of goals and all this stuff year after year after all these things and reset and re-goal and all that stuff, my answer to that is stop focusing on goal. Like once you set the goal setting is good. Once you set the goal, focus on your system. Build
Mm,
your system that is something you can focus on every day that is guaranteed to land you where you want to be.
hmm.
We've talked about this with jujitsu. if you want to become a black belt in jujitsu, and not just because you have the belt, but like that level of performance and skill and ability,
Mhm,
the only way you get there is if you keep showing up, right? Like that's the
mhm,
only possible, or not necessarily the only way, but that's a requirement. You have to keep showing up and doing jujitsu in order to get that.
mhm,
So figure out what that thing is for you in the system, because the
mhm,
system for JITS is to just keep showing up. That's part of the system. So the system for you to hit 52 episodes, the system for you to monetize, those are your big goals, to monetize and hit 52 episodes. But you focusing on that goal can seem so far, so outlandish. And if you have a really big goal, call it 500 episodes, maybe that goal is 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. That can seem daunting and almost like kind of deter you from really pursuing it.
mhm,
But once you have your goal, you have a clear, like, this is what I want to achieve. So now you can reverse engineer it and say, oh, all I have to do is this every single day.
mhm,
If I just build a system in my life to where I just do this thing every single day, then every day I wake up, if I check the box that I did the thing, then I know I'm on track. Or every week I wake up and do this stuff. If I check the box, then I know I'm on track to hit my goal. So
yeah,
focus on
and
the system, not the goal.
I often find myself in places of, like, wanting to, like, for example, if I just posted an episode and I already, like, put out a short or a couple shorts or whatever, then from there, I don't know what to do. Because like, I want to still do more, but I literally have no clue what else to do, and, like, I wanna spend more time on my computer working on it, but it feels like it's already done.
What do you mean more? Like, what is, when you're thinking of more, like, give me an example.
Like, I one, I don't know, but what I think about is, like, I just wanna spend more time working on it. Not necessarily the
On
episode, but the business side of it.
good, 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 good. Okay, now I get what you're saying. So you
Mhm.
want to do more that's going to be contributing to your growth of
Yeah,
the episode,
exactly.
or of the whole project itself, right?
Mhm.
Got it. What do you have on your system right now for like, hey, here's how I grow?
Right now, it's post full-length videos and take shorts, and then I also
Nice.
have
Let's
clothes, so that's
got it.
that I don't promote.
There we go. Right.
Yeah.
So there's one thing. Add this to your system. I mean, seriously,
Mhm,
like I'm rocking my Dynamic Daddy sweatshirt. I just unpackaged it this morning and I did it
mhm,
live on I did it while recording a podcast. I was like, hey, I haven't seen this yet. This is my first like sample of the sweatshirt of the hoodie. This could be
mhm,
really good or really bad. I don't know. We're gonna do it together. And I just on the podcast. It'll go out next Wednesday. That's my promotion for the day or for the week or whatever of Dynamic Daddy gear that you can buy online. Just go to my bio. I have links and all that stuff. You can go and find the stuff.
mhm.
If you're not promoting your stuff, again, don't promote in a sleazy way. Just
Yeah,
share, man. Like if you like this, if you like the movement of this and like what this is all about, here's where you can get stuff. You want to
yeah,
go out? You want to go back inside? Okay, buddy, get your boots on. So add that to your list. Promote your gear. Promote
mhm,
your gear, and then also add promote your message. Like remind people why you're even doing this.
yeah,
Not just share what you're doing. Remind people why you're doing it. That is
yeah,
right, buddy. Good job. So add that to your system.
mhm,
Also, you know, you can find ways like it seems like it's not doing anything for the business to do this. But oh buddy, careful. Watch your foot. Watch your foot. There you go. Turn that down. Yep, there you go. Nice work, kiddo. All right, I'll see you inside, bud. Yes. You can see a baby ladybug? Right on, dude. Very cool. So, sometimes it'll seem like or feel like I'm not really, this isn't really work on my
mhm,
project or on my business, but work the value equation. Just literally, if you're not creating something, go, how can I increase the odds that people believe that listening to me or consuming my products or wearing or buying my shirt or whatever is going to improve the odds of them achieving their dream outcome, whatever that is.
yeah,
Dynamic Daddy, do you want to, if you buy this sweatshirt, does it add dad strength? I think it does.
mm,
Gives you
mhm,
10 dad strength points, right? You know, you wear Dynamic Daddy gear, it's every time you put it on, it's your daily reminder to just improve something. Something
Mhm.
in yourself, something in your relationship with your romantic partner, something in your relationship with your kids. It's just a instant daily little nudge to be like, "Hey man, remember you committed to your own growth. This is your
Mhm.
reminder. You got the gear, you're in the community, let's go."
Yeah.
Whatever the thing is that you're promoting or sharing, you could do that every day in some way, shape, or form. You can work on the value equation and be like, well, how do I decrease the effort and sacrifice it takes for people to have this stuff or do this stuff? Like you can spend time on that, and that's still helpful, right? That's still
Yeah.
building something.
Yeah.
But real like tangible business stuff for you and developing this stuff is just I'm a big fan of just focusing on how can I add more value.
Mhm.
And then when you come up with a really good idea, go, "Oh, I love that. How can I
Mhm.
add even more value?"
Yeah.
Even more value. Use ChatGPT. I mean, for me, like I when I was telling you about building out my referral program for the newsletter, the Better Dad
Mhm.
Bulletin, a large part of this was me on ChatGPT going, "Okay, man, I have this list of stuff that I kind of came up with and I like, but I want to get so absurd. Like I want people to look at this as this is a reward you get for sharing this newsletter with other people. And I want them to look at the reward and go, "That's insane that he's doing that. He's giving out
Yeah.
his phone number to people. What? These who he
Ye
doesn't know who's signing up for it. Why would he do that? Right? Like
yeah.
that's kind of absurd. So get more absurd with this. Use the tools, use ChatGPT, use all this stuff and figure out how can I add even more value. This is kind of what my podcast does. This is kind of what I talk about. I just want to know how to add even more value to listeners. Here's kind of
Mhm.
my target audience.
Okay.
And a bonus note with ChatGPT is you can share, you can say, hey, because all of your episodes on your YouTube.
Mhm.
Okay. You can say, hey, ChatGPT, I'm going to share a YouTube channel with you. This is my YouTube channel. I want to know how I can improve my impact and increase the value that listeners and visitors and subscribers get from my channel. Give me a list of 10 things I can do based on similar creators in the similar realm who are the most successful. And then
Mm.
define success, like success in terms of uh you know finances, like your revenue is very different from success based on community engagement. It's different than
Sure.
subscribers and everything. So define what success is for you, and then it'll map that out for you. It'll share with you like, hey, here's some things, here are some ideas.
Okay. Um, should I this is kinda on the heels of that. Should I focus more on the podcast or the clothing and starting to make money? And it's not to say should I quit one and do the other, but which one should I be focusing more of my time into?
What is your mission with any of this stuff?
It's I mean, a lot of it is to help people help hopefully out of places that I've been in, but also just grow in faith, grow in knowledge, grow in the ability to gain skills and stuff like that. So
Got it.
there's not
What
necessarily
clothing
one
item do you
specific thing.
Okay, what clothing item do you have that solves one of those?
Mm, shirts.
How
And-
does a shirt how does a shirt
oh, I think I see what you're
solve
saying.
pull somebody out of a darker place that they're at or help them, and how does your shirt do that?
Well, part of the thing for me that I wanted to start shirts was I noticed like when I had Jesus shirts or faith shirts, it was easier for me to talk about it. Like
Okay.
it was no longer something that was hidden. I was actually
Yeah.
like promoting Christ even just by walking around. So it was a lot
Yep.
easier for me to have those conversations with people that I had never met before. And so I
Yeah.
wanted to give other people that same experience,
Okay.
at least ideally.
Got it. Okay. So wearing the shirt helped you to go from like kind of a closeted Christian to like an out there open in the world Christian.
Yeah.
Okay, so that a shirt in theory helps. It doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily solve it, but it does help one of
Yeah.
those things on the list of your mission. What else on your mission list does a piece of clothing that you have for purchase solve?
Well, the financial side, like I would make money by doing it.
No, no, no. What does it solve for your consumer, your
Oh,
community, if they purchase it?
um, I go to things like they're helping me. Like they're like I know a lot of times there's creators that I like want to be able to support, and
Yeah.
I think the clothing is a unique way to be able to, because it's them specifically, and it's not
Yeah.
just like it is just sending them money, but you're also getting something for your money.
Right. So that feeling you get of like, I'm the consumer. I want to contribute to this creator. I love
Yeah.
them. I'm connected in some way. So that feeling. So it for your consumer in your mission and all those things you listed in your mission, it helps them to feel kind of like part of the community and part of a contributor to you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's great. We have a couple examples here of how your clothing solves a few of the mission items.
Hmm.
Now, let's talk about your podcast.
Hmm.
How many episodes have you done so far?
I think I just posted number 17.
Perfect. So 17 episodes. And in these 17 episodes, in your mission and all the list of things you want to help people get out of the spaces that I've been and do all these things, whatever, have you covered and maybe shown people and solved a way? Like, has this solved any of these episodes solved those problems, your mission for people?
Um, I'd like to think so.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, I
would
get
like to
good
think so too.
feedback.
I
I get
agree.
good feedback, so yeah.
I agree. So my point in this, when you're asking which one to focus on, I'm a big fan of focusing on mission first and mission always.
Mhm.
So the way that I see this is you sharing clothing items and all that stuff, while it's awesome and it's great, and like I said, like it acts as a reminder to what your commitment is and what your
Mm.
community you're building and what you want to be in. That it acts as a reminder, which is a good thing for us to have a reminder in our day to day. Like I look at a shirt, whether I choose to wear it or not, click, it at least says like, oh yeah, I see this shirt and it reminds me of that, whatever. That's good. But I don't think that clothing in that way is anywhere near as impactful as you sharing your experiences, being a better communicator to pull out from your guests their
Mhm.
experiences, to be able to connect with your community, your listeners, to say, hey, here's some examples of that experience that you might be enduring right now, and here's some ways through it. So, in my opinion, which should you focus on? Is for sure the podcast, because
Mhm.
if you're focusing on adding value there, like a shirt is a shirt, man. I love this thing. I'm gonna, this is literally my new favorite sweatshirt. I'm not exaggerating. I love this
Yeah.
thing. The feel of it is great. The fit of it is great. The logo and how, like everything about it, I love it. But it's just a shirt. Like
Yeah.
it's not changing my life. If
Yeah.
I listen to a podcast and somebody says something and it clicks for me and it connects this chain of things that I had kind of had a missing link on, that could change my life forever.
Mhm.
This shirt, I could love this shirt for 10 years and have it for, it's not going to change my life forever, right?
Yeah.
Wisdom, knowledge, shared knowledge, and action items. Those are things when you share it, like your podcast, you could, one thing I meant to say this earlier, one thing you could do to add value to your listeners is give them action items. It's
Mm.
not necessarily to say, hey, I know what you should do in your life, but you could say, hey, if you're going through this sort of thing, what we've covered in this episode, here's some ideas that you could do right now, and for minimal effort and minimal sacrifice and minimal time delay, and it improves your perceived likelihood of achieving your dream outcome.
Mhm.
Here are some things. So even if it's just one thing, you could be like, boom. So that's something you can add in there where a shirt isn't really going to do that.
Yeah.
Just shirt, right?
Yeah.
You can attach a lot of wonderful feelings to it, which is awesome. And I'm a big fan of supporting your creators and people that go, oh, dude, I love what this guy creates. Let me buy his stuff, his merch, whatever it is. I'm a big fan of that. And I do the same thing. But
Mhm.
I've never bought a piece of clothing that truly changed my life the way that
Yeah.
wisdom does and wisdom has and
Yeah.
action items have.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
So,
think it
so
just it more so fits my goals too.
that's what I mean. Your mission. You have a mission.
Yeah.
Stick with your mission.
Mm.
This
Yeah.
stuff is great, great support to your mission and great community building and tribe building and great, connection to your mission, but it's not your mission. Your mission is your mission. So stick with that.
Yeah. Um, this this is more of a statement, because I was watching. This is kind of what led to that existential crisis I was telling you about last night. But
Yeah.
I just realized, like, we had so many conversations over the years, and a lot of the theme is like the what I wasn't doing. in terms of like, and that's not most of our conversations. Let me say that. Like we talk about other stuff, but I was watching Alex Ramosey's podcast with Diary of a CEO, and he said when he like first started and was like thinking about doing his business, like he was scared. And I realized for some way, shape, or form, like I feel like I have nothing to lose, but I
Yeah.
still feel scared. And I feel like part of I won't say that there was not laziness because there absolutely was. But when I reflect, I look back and like whether it was being scared of the workload, like I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I was scared of, but I was
Yeah.
just afraid of something. And even still to
Yeah.
this day, I'm still afraid of something and I don't exactly know what it is. But that
Got
was
it.
just like a big, and I guess to put it in a question, like, have you related to that in some sense? And then how do you get over that if so?
Absolutely, I related to it. Yes, 100%. I will tell you right now, one of the things that's interesting about this is in this week, one of the things that I did was take my values and stuff like around Dynamic Daddy, but just like Dynamic Daddy is just the brand of me. It's just literally like this is how I think life should be lived and how I choose to live it. And these are values that are important to me and I want to share with other people because I know other people share these values as well.
Mhm,
And what I did this week was I go, man, I have been very passive about my values over the years
mhm,
because I am inclusive and I am open with anybody. You want to talk about anything, share whatever, right? As long as we're respecting each other and stuff. Like we can attack ideas all day, just respect each other, respect the person.
yeah,
And I'm like, how can I start sharing my values and my message in a more polarizing way where it's the same message, but I'm more so taking a stand on the message that I feel. And one of those things is like weak men don't make good dads.
mhm,
I just don't think that you as a weak man make a good dad. You as a docile creature who is incapable of laying down the law, whether that's through force or intelligence or whatever, I don't think that makes a good man at all.
mhm,
Now, previous to this week when I started like let me flip these on their head, I might say something like, not everybody has the strength to, show up in the strong way that they want to, whether they're a dad or not, and it's like, those are both true, but one of them's very different. One of them is like taking a stand. One of them is putting on the shirt and going out into public
mhm,
rather than just like, I have this belief, it's mine, and nobody really knows because it's hidden. It's like, put on the Jesus shirt, like you were saying earlier, and go out in public and just walk around
yeah,
and have conversations. So, I think part of the fear is if you really own and that polarizing type of way, if you really own your beliefs, then you're going to upset people.
yeah,
You're going to do that. And I don't think anybody really desires to upset people for the sake of upsetting people.
mhm,
I don't anyway. I
yeah,
don't I don't want to upset people for the sake of, but what I do want is I want to upset people for the sake of them waking up and improving themselves.
yeah,
Them waking up and reaching for their full potential and not being okay with how they are right now, but being able to say, I want to kill my clone. 30 days from now, I want to be better. In one
mhm,
shape, way, or form, I want to kill my clone, right?
yeah,
So the fear that you might be feeling, even though you don't have anything to lose in creating this, is one, failing at something, and it's different when you're doing it like this because you're failing publicly,
mhm,
right? Versus just like, oh, I was creating this thing on my own. I'm in my room drawing and I messed up a drawing and I just
mhm,
scrumble it up and throw it away. Nobody saw it. Nobody knows. You didn't even take a stand on anything, right?
mhm,
You're doing something publicly. You're taking public stances on certain positions, which is going to sort of set you up for people to attack you one way or another. There's probably a level, this is my experience, there's probably a level of the fear of people being a lot more intelligent than you are in their ability to articulate themselves and attack arguments and your positions on things.
mhm,
And it's like, well, if I come face to face with somebody like that and they just dismantle me publicly, what do I do? And it's like, you know, that's okay. Like, welcome that, welcome those challenges. And it's okay to be wrong about stuff and adjust things. It's okay to be
Yeah.
proven wrong about things, and it's also okay to have a feeling of something that you might not be able to articulate to the level that somebody else can articulate it, right?
Yeah.
But there is a fear of like being ousted in the public domain in that sense, even though this is you have nothing to lose, this is totally free and blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
So I think those are part of it, but I also think that there's the fear of like you are going against societal norms.
Mhm.
How many people dream of being the creator and oh, I want to do this and talk about being the creator. I'm a content creator. I want to do this and I want to do that. People talk about it, but how many of those people actually do something about it? And you're now
Yeah.
doing something about it. So you're even more of a target. And then when you start generating revenue from doing this, you're even more of a target because now you didn't just talk about it and dream it and want to do it. You didn't just take action and do it. You actually have achieved it and you're
Mhm.
continuing to achieve it. So there's a fear of having this sort of target on your back of like, man, I'm outgrowing the people that I really cared about and still care about, but I'm outgrowing them, I'm outpacing them, and if I want to keep going, I have to leave them like in a real sense, I have to leave them behind.
Yeah.
I have to start I have to start socializing for my future rather than trying to hang on with the socialization of my past. And there's a fear of losing friendships and bonds and relationships as you continue to grow and you see people that are like he's kind of doing this little podcast thing, but it's not going to go anywhere. Like
Mhm.
even if they don't verbalize it, you know when people don't really support you. You
Sure.
know that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's part of the journey. You experience it. I experience it still to this day. Every time I say something or mention or I'm like, "Hey, Dynamic Daddy brand and Better Dad Bulletin and stuff." I see the number of people that view it. I
Mhm.
see the number of people that like looked at this thing and looked at this thing and they've seen it over and over and over. I've seen you look at this 10 times and not say anything, comment or contribute in any way. I've seen all
Mhm.
that stuff. But I've also been the same guy. I've also
Mhm.
been the guy that's seen somebody creating something and I'm like, it doesn't really call me.
Mhm.
I see you post it and I'm like, good for you, like,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah.
And so, having the grace to understand like not everything is for every person.
Yeah.
And that includes what you're creating right now.
Yeah, and just kind of one of those fears that were internalized just to like get it out in the light so that it's no longer, at least not as effective in holding me down anymore. But I just the idea of uh close relationships being tarnished in some way, shape, or form. It's like you hear all these stories about people like, oh, I did this and my parents didn't approve, and now I'm
Yeah.
super successful, but my relationship with my parents is awful. And it's like,
Yeah.
in my mind, I look at that as like, okay, you're successful, but at what cost? Like,
Correct.
is that something that I want? Do I want success to break down the things that I'm holding on to right now? And maybe in some instances I'm okay with that, but there's also instances where I'm not okay with that, and the fear of those
Yeah.
two intermingling is a nagging thing in the back of my head always.
Yeah. I felt that fear for so many years.
Mhm.
Like genuinely so many years where it was like I had this and I just never pulled the trigger on things and I had all these ideas. I had lists of ideas and like I just never put it out there because I was that's a real fear, right? Especially when you're talking to your parents, your
Mhm.
closest people to you, whether it's parents, friends, family, whatever. So here's my best take on this is like don't just think it, but have an actual exercise of this. All right. Let's just imagine for a second. It's 2 years from now
Mhm.
and you built Divine Dialogues up and you now produce $20,000 a month in revenue from merchandise sales to Patreon and contributions and all that stuff. So 20 grand a month you're making. You're earning, call it 50 grand a month. Like get absurd with it. And you're making all this money and you've built this yourself.
Mhm.
Now you're making more money than your parents are.
Mhm.
And so you're more successful than them at half the age, less than half the age and all this stuff, right?
Mhm.
But you did it selling your body. You were shooting porn.
Okay.
Is that gonna make your relationship with your parents better or worse?
Definitely worse.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
Now, let's do that same scenario, same amount of success, same timeline, same everything, but you did it by creating a podcast and a brand that led people closer to Christianity and your guys' God.
Yeah.
Your parents closer or like more proud of you, less proud, like where are they at now?
Definitely more proud.
Right. So the idea that you're going to lose the relationships that matter,
Mhm.
you first of all figure out like how are you earning money? Are you doing this in a ethical and a morally sound way? Are you really helping people or are you like some charlatan or some dirtbag, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Like don't do dirtbag shit and you don't have to worry about that. But if you are pursuing your mission and it is a virtuous mission that you have, if you lose people on that path along that way because they just disagree with your virtues or values, then good, because you didn't want them around you in the first place.
Mm. Yeah.
If you might have you still like doing the right thing can still be very painful. When you cut off a friend that you love
Mhm.
because you know it's wrong to keep them around, it's just not helping you, it's not helping your mission, it's not helping your family, it's still painful. Like
Yeah.
doing the right thing sometimes hurts more than the wrong thing.
Sure.
But there's nobody in your life that you truly should have in your life that absolutely supports you that's going to have some tarnished relationship with you as you become more successful.
Yeah.
Your people are going to root for you, especially when you're doing something morally sound and virtuous and they watch your success. And most people want to just like kind of ride the coattails, like, oh, I
Sure.
was there from the beginning and stuff like that. But
Sure.
realistically, the relationships that you're concerned about losing, they aren't the ones that are going to help you reach the levels that you aim to reach, that you dream of. And frankly, having, from the place of I've lost friends, I've lost people over the years, a lot of it was just because they stopped growing, and that to me is not what life is about. Like I hope you have a wonderful life. I hope you have a terrific experience in what you have. But to me, I'm not interested in being surrounded by people who are going to hold me back, or when I constantly want to talk about improving myself, my business, my family, my whatever, and they're just like, no, I'd rather like let's just watch the game, dude. You can't just watch the football game. You can't just watch the basketball game. It's like I don't care about that. I want
Yeah.
to improve life existence for myself and everyone around me. You're gonna
Yeah.
lose people along the way. And I'm pretty sure there was somebody who talked to me about some story in the Bible. Maybe it was on their podcast about somebody that had to march out into the abyss on their own, and it was a lonely march going out there for them to actually come to the realization and the fruition of their full potentials before
Yeah.
they reintegrated back into. I can't remember what podcast it was, but there was somebody that had a podcast that told me about this story, and this is the story of the entrepreneur. Is
Mhm.
you have, and it's not entrepreneurship just in business, like the personal development growth oriented individual. You are going to outgrow some people who just don't want to keep going, who give up
Mhm.
on their own growth, who give up on themselves, who don't really support you the way they do, and that's their journey. Maybe they catch up to you later,
Mhm.
maybe they just stay back there, and you can still love them from a distance. Like there's nobody that I have in my life right now, if they showed up at my front door, that I'd be like, I fucking hate you.
Mhm.
Even the people that I've cut out of my life, it'd be like, man, I hope you're doing well. No, you can't come in, but I do hope you're doing well. you
Yeah.
know, like you're
Yeah.
not coming into my kingdom, you're not coming into my
Yeah.
domain, but I'll sit out on the curb with you if you want.
Mhm.
We could chop it up for a little bit, whatever.
Mhm.
You don't have to hate somebody that you cut off. You can
Yeah.
wish them the best and love them, but if they're not part of your future, if they're not part of what's going to help you on your mission to change the world and what you're pursuing, you don't need to try to hold on to that toxic relationship that's going to just eat away at you because, man, we're not as close as we used to be. It's like, yeah, no shit, because I've grown and you haven't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's the reality of it. But the fear that you're gonna lose the people you love the most, it's a real fear. But what will happen is you'll lose the people who have fake love for you. Even if you love
Mm.
them, they have fake love for you. Those are the ones that you lose. The ones that
Yeah.
are showing up for you. Like my first order of dynamic daddy gear came from one of the biggest supporters that I have, and it's nobody in my family.
Mhm.
Seriously.
Yeah.
The first order that came through my dynamic daddy store, this went up within like last week. The very first order that came through was somebody that's not family. I don't even it's free to subscribe to the newsletter, and that's
Mhm.
support. Not a single one of my close family members is in there. It's just the way it is. And
Yeah.
again, it's not for them necessarily, and that's fine, dude. You have your mission. You're not going to drag everybody along with you on your mission. Your mission is your own to march, and some people are going to show up, and the more that you could be clear about what you're doing and why you're doing it, the more you're going to build that divisiveness to where the people that show up are your people and you know it, and the people that are turned away are they're not your people.
Yeah. I will say I think I signed up for the newsletter, but
Did you?
at least
Mm.
I
Look
thought
at
I did. Maybe
yeah.
maybe I didn't. But
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I'll have to check the
I
I'll
remember
have to check
clicking
the
the
analytics on this now.
I remember clicking the link in your Instagram. I think I put in my
No,
email or something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're in it. You're in it.
Okay.
I was more referring to I was more referring to my siblings and parents.
Oh.
Like when I'm talking like the nuclear family.
Yeah. And the last one, it's really just a statement, but more so, it's a statement out of a question, and it's just I'm not sure if what I'm doing is actually a business. One, because I'm not making any money from it, and two,
Yeah, you
just
are.
because. Oh yeah,
Where's my
that is
money
true.
going every month?
That is true. You're right. You are right. Well, yeah, but the second part was, well, okay, so s- forget the first part because I am, but the second, now the only part is I don't have like an LLC or anything like that, so I don't. One, I don't know if it like literally actually is a business, and then
Right.
if it's not, I'm trying to make it one. So where is the lack?
Got you. So all a business is the way you're thinking of it is successful, profitable business or not. That's how you're thinking of it. But all a
Mm.
business is you provide a product or service. That's it.
Oh,
A profitable business provides a product or service for money that is more than their expenditures, right? More than the
yeah.
cost to operate the business. That's a profitable business, right? So what you're thinking of is is this a business or not? You provide a product or service. In this case, you have product because you have merchandise now. You have,
Hmm.
shirts. And then you also provide, call it a service, but like the product of your podcast, right? That's
Hmm.
these episodes, the videos and stuff. That's a product as well. So you are a business in that sense. But whether you're a profitable business or not is a different question. Are you earning more than it cost you to operate this thing? That's a
Sure.
different question.
Yeah.
Now, to answer the question of do you need to formulate to be a business? You could go the rest of your life and never form a business officially like an LLC or anything like that. And you will still be a business. You'll just be taxed as a sole proprietor. It's like
Mm.
you still operate a business. You still collect, you send invoices, people pay you, you have your monthly recurring, they buy merchandise, whatever it is. You're just a sole proprietor. And so that it's just taxed different. So you don't have to set that up. And I frankly, I don't think, if you're not doing 70, 80, 90 grand a year, like you it's just more of a hassle, I think, to set up an LLC than to just do your taxes every year based on hey, here's whatever. I'm no tax expert. Do not take this as tax advice. Uh, but yeah, you could, in theory, just operate as a sole proprietor forever. It's just that there's benefits to formulating a certain type of business based on what your overall experience is, and you start to see those benefits. I think when you get closer to 100 grand revenue.
Okay. Um, I think that was like all the ones that I had from the video that I was watching.
Yeah.
Less of the video that I was watching, more on the heels of just you saying come up with questions and we'll talk about them. But
Uh,
I'm struck by this idea, and I don't know if it's like just a feeling of a lack of what I'm doing now, but always just the like there's more, there's more, there's more. So how do you satisfy that and but also follow that? Because I'm not
more
saying
what?
it's like literally anything. Like there's more money to be made, there's more people to be reached,
Mm.
uh there's more episodes to be filmed.
Yeah.
So it's just like stuff like that.
Yeah. That's a great question. So there's kind of two ways you can go about this that I know of. If you want to, the first thing before any of this, define what you want. Do you want peace? Do you want freedom? Do you want happiness? What do you want from your life? Like define that first, because there's a lot of different ways to get to certain positions, right?
Mhm.
So for me, when I think of happiness in life, like the people I mentioned earlier, my mission, like I want growth. That is my game.
Mhm.
Like that is the game. It's never ending. It is the game. Some people, the game is I just want money. I want to make $1 million a year.
Mhm.
That's their game. And there's a lot of different ways you can make a million. There's a lot of different ways you can grow, right? That's you have to define your game. What is success for you? Like that's what you have to figure out first. So for me,
Mhm.
growth. Growth is the jam. So how do I satisfy that? Find different ways to grow. Every
Mhm.
day I can find something that I can improve, right?
Mhm.
So figure this out for yourself, like whatever that is. But like I mentioned, the people that I've cut off in the past, like whether it was a toxic friendship, relationship, or whatever, or I just outgrew them.
Mhm.
And it's not like cut off, do not talk to me, you're blocked. It's just like, yeah, I just don't hit you up anymore, really. And you don't
Mhm.
hit me up, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So those people, their focus, their mission in life might be happiness or it might be
Mhm.
peace, right? And the fastest way to peace is to want nothing more than what you currently have.
Mm.
Like wherever you are, if you have a
Mhm.
million dollars in the bank or you have $0, to just want nothing more than what you currently have. And that's like, cool. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I'm perfectly happy with what I
Mhm.
have. Like that's the fastest way that I know of to get there, right? But you could also be like, well, I want to be happy. And the way that I would be happy is if I made $1 million every month and I did this, and you assign these things that you have to achieve in order to reach your happiness, which by the way, doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
But if you decide what your life design needs to be for you to reach achievement, then it's easier for you to do it. So for you, if you're like, yeah, I just want more, I want more, I want more, then I'd be like, why do you want more? And what do you think that you want more of? If you want more money, maybe you're just like, well, I would love to make 1 million a month, but really, would I? Because the amount of effort and work it takes to get to that knowledge base and skill set and action to make 1 million a month, is that something that I would actually enjoy the amount of time and effort and energy? Or is it that I just want to make, I just want to make 90 grand a year, and that's enough for me to live comfortably and happy and keep creating and doing what I'm doing. And that's all I want. And it's like, that's very different, that level of happiness, because you don't have to, if you keep moving the bar, that's what happens when people may assign money as their happiness metric.
Mhm.
Oh, I made 1 million a month. Now I just want to make 1.5 a month. That's all. That's it.
Mm.
Oh, I made 1.5. Oh, dude, I made 1.5. I figured that out. I just want to make two. I know I can make two a month. And that
Mhm.
just keeps going. That's why so many millionaires, billionaires are like not near as happy as monks, who
Mhm.
the monk is like, I don't need anything. I have everything. I have
Mhm.
breath. That's all I need is my breath.
Yeah.
And it's like they're far more happy. So define for you what your success metric is. For me, growth is that's a major part of it. So I have a lot of different ways to grow. For you, if you something maybe pops into your mind right now, if you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of what I'm after, then it's easier to decide like, oh, this is how to make sense of the pursuit of more or not. And yeah, I think the more clarity you have on what you want, the easier it is to determine that. But man, the battle of more, I think it just starts with appreciation. Like, what do you have right now that you haven't been thankful for a while? Like that shirt
Yeah.
you're wearing, it's probably your basic. I just randomly sleep in it. I don't even think twice because there's no logos or anything on it. But like, are you thankful for it? Because it's
Mhm.
comfy, it's cozy, and like just appreciate what you have. Take a moment. Your relationships with people, like, man, there's so many people in the world that they do have two parents, but their parents are abusive. They're not kind. They're not loving. They're not supportive. They're like, appreciate your relationship. And the more time you spend appreciating all these things, the happier you could be instantly and the less you realize you need.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
think that makes a lot of sense.
yeah. So,
That's good.
but again, it depends on what you're after, right? Like, what are you after in life? And right now, you're building something, you're trying to do more and more and more. And it's like, try to get something really dialed in first and then figure out what's most important to you, because like you're talking to a guy who I've pivoted in my career as an adult so many times. I don't know how many different things. It's like, oh, I'm launching this business or I'm going to do this, and a lot of it like, oh, I was fear, so I didn't really launch that one. I created it but never launched it, or this. whatever reason, like, yeah, that I realized that wasn't really my passion. I wasn't really making an impact. I wasn't really helping people the way I wanted. And I've pivoted a bunch. So there's always been like a pursuit of more, but for me, each step of the way gets me closer to like my divine living, let's say, like my nirvana of whatever that may
Hmm.
be. So, but it's always growth and impact. Like I want to grow myself, always get better, and I want to impact other people and help them to push towards their potential, to help reach a better life for them in their existence and so on. So for you, depending on what your mission is, that's going to be a different battle of more versus not more, you
Yeah.
know? So like
Yeah.
what comes to mind for you right now when you think of like this is why I like what my pursuit is?
I mean, right now, I have a dream set up in my head, and that's more so like what I'm striving after now is like
Yeah.
getting the equipment that I feel necessary, and then acquiring the space that I feel necessary, and then putting all the stuff in the back that I feel necessary, and then getting the care. It's like all that stuff to where like
Yeah.
it's more production based. I feel like I want to have a really good production,
Mhm.
and I don't right now. So
Uh-huh.
and I think it's gonna be the same thing with making more money. Like once I have a really like I have a good setup. It's not that I
Yeah.
don't. It's just like I have it's not the one that I picture in my head. And then once I have the one that I picture in my head, there's gonna be another one that I have pictured in my head. So it's
That's
like
right. That's exactly
I
right.
yeah, I just don't know where I don't know where to stop.
Yeah, my Hi dude. What? You have magical powers? What kind of magical powers? You're gonna show me? All right. We're gonna get a magic show. This is- um, yeah, it's you that sort of thing is always gonna keep moving. But again, the way that I would say for you right now in this chapter, how can I add more value without spending more money?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see some magic. Oh, what did you just do? I'm frozen. I'm ice. Oh, oh. Thankfully, he turned me into ice, and now he melted me back. Thank you, Mr. Magical Man. All right, let me go spend some time with the kiddos and the fam bam. And for you, yes, sir. Dinner's ready. Oh, breakfast, buddy. It's breakfast time. Breakfast is ready. Let's go eat. So just focus on that. Stop focusing on what you don't have and focus on, hey, like you have a sign, you've
Mhm.
got the cross, you've got a camera, you've got a microphone, they work. Start figuring out how can I add more value without spending more money. That's
Yeah.
it.
Will
Stick
do.
with that.
All right.
All right, dude. Good chat.
Yeah.
Thanks for having the questions. I enjoyed it. Hopefully, I'm gonna toss this up. I don't know. Maybe you can create a thumbnail.
Hmm.
Uh, Create a thumbnail for this, and then I'll toss it up, and you can cross post it if you want or whatever. Share it with whoever to. Hopefully, there's something valuable in here for them to use and whatever. You
Yeah,
can
I
use
had
it
this
too.
thought the other day. I was like, I feel like almost every conversation we have could be a podcast.
That's why I was like, let's just record this right now. Like instead of
Yeah.
FaceTime, let's record. Because if there's something we want to go back to or we could share with somebody, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a safe, buddy. It's a
All
little
right.
box. All
I'll
right.
let you
Love
go.
you, dude.
Love you.
Keep going. Keep growing. I'm proud of you, but there's still work to be done, always.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Can I
All right.
leave the session without it? It'll